What's up, guys? This is Rudy from Rudy Modern Photography, and today I want to talk to you about whether or not you should have a wedding planner or a day of coordinator or nothing at all. So without further ado, let's get into it. So if this is your first time here at this channel, Marta and I were all about providing tips, tricks, and advice throughout the whole wedding planning process and for the day of the wedding. Obviously, we're not planners, we are wedding photographers, but we've seen a lot of things and we've experienced a lot of things, so we want to go ahead and provide a little bit of insight from our side of things. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So should you have a wedding planner throughout your process or a part of it or even at all? I say you should have it for at least a portion of it. If you can have full wedding planning, yes, go ahead and go for it. And we'll go ahead and go into the reasons why. So reason number one, it de-stresses the entire process. When you're engaged, there's so many things that happen. All of a sudden, you either pull out the binder and you're like, yes, I've been planning on this since I was 8 years old. Or you're kind of like, all right, now what? So there's this whole side of things. It's very divisive. You either love wedding planning or you don't. And if you don't, you are definitely going to lean more towards the side of month of coordination or a full-on wedding planning. And there's benefits to everything. If you have full-on wedding planning, they are going to go ahead and pretty much hold your hand and guide you throughout the entire process. You are in charge of the vendors that you want, but they will have vendors that they recommend. And those vendors that they do recommend, sometimes they have specific or exclusive rates that are only for couples that are referred to them from said planner. That being said, not all vendors have that. It's kind of like something that's discussed on a one-to-one basis, but it is something that's there. Also, that planner can go ahead and pretty much vet vendors. They pretty much will go ahead and guide you and say, this is somebody that I've worked with previously in the past multiple times, and I can vouch for them. I know that they're going to perform and they're going to deliver the service that they promise, and they won't go ahead and leave you high and dry, which I'm pretty sure a quick Google search will go ahead and show you that there have been instances where photographers don't show up, the cake is late, or the cake is dry, or the flowers, they wilt, or they aren't delivered at all. It happens. There are horror stories out there, and having a wedding planner kind of guide you through that and refer vendors that are vetted will help you with that. Reason number two, they will go ahead and give you a realistic budget. They will go ahead and say, hey, this is what we have to work with. If you say, all right, my budget's $25,000, great, awesome. This is what you can have, this is what you can't have. That Pinterest picture or inspiration board that you have going on, they'll be able to go ahead and go down and say, okay, this is something that you can realistically do, or this is something that you shouldn't do. Here's an alternative that might be kind of like this, but not exactly to that par. And they will go ahead and kind of help guide you and move things around as far as the budget is concerned. Most of the time, this is in line with full wedding planning. It's not in line with month of coordination or day of coordination. Month of coordination, maybe sometimes, but it really depends on the planner, and it's very, very rarely happen. Reason number three, on the day of the wedding, you shouldn't have a family member kind of running and pulling the strings of the wedding day. You should definitely have a professional handling that. There are so many instances where all of a sudden, the cake is running late, or the food's running late, or the ceremony is running late, and people are kind of looking around like, okay, what do I do now? Should I walk down the aisle? I mean, I don't know. How does this happen? And these are the instances where I kind of like look at myself and I'm just like, I kind of wish that they had hired at least a day of coordinator, a month of coordinator to help set them up with a rehearsal and set them up with how they should be at the altar or wherever the ceremony is supposed to take place. In regards to the budget side of things, sometimes certain venues, they do go ahead and provide a venue coordinator, but a venue coordinator is very different than a day of coordinator or a month of coordinator that you hire outside of the venue. The venue coordinator is there to make sure that things run smoothly and that the venue is represented in the best way possible. If you hire a planner, whether it's month of, day of, or full-on planning, they are there to represent you and they work for you. They don't work for the venue, they work for you. So they want to make sure that you have the best experience possible. So those are three reasons why I think you should have a wedding planner, either full-on wedding planning, month of coordination, or day of coordination. Now, Should you not have a wedding planner? I'll be 100% honest with you. I really don't see a reason why you shouldn't. Let me just be frank. You really should. There's just so many benefits that come to it that you really just should. And if you have somebody that can guide you and kind of keep you going on the day of, just make sure that they have some sort of experience in regards to weddings, because weddings are completely different than other events. And I've experienced that firsthand. So without further ado, I hope that kind of like gives you a little bit of insight as to whether or not you should have one and the benefits of having one, a wedding planner on the day of or month of or full-on planning. But do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you have any questions or concerns? Please leave them in the comments below. Marta and I will go ahead and get around to answering them. And if you have any other questions that I can answer via video, please let me know. Follow us at Rudy and Marta on Instagram. Over there, I'm posting on the constant. And if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to stay up to date with the happenings in regards to YouTube and everything else. And hit the little bell, that way you get notifications every time that we post new videos and new content. Until next time, everyone, deuces.